real quick, the whole thing with me and IUIC, I know it's a lot of stuff is going out, a lot of misinformation, and it's really, at Marshall, you would, this scripture about metal not. You know what I'm saying? You want to lead off everything in scriptures. You want the scriptures to be the face of everything you do and everything you say, if you're an Israelite and you really believe. You know what I'm looking for?
I got it.
Read it from.
Hey, we read it so much now. Sirach chapter 11, verse 10. My son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by fleeing.
So the scriptures tell us to meddle not with many matters. With me and the whole thing with the camp that I was with IUIC, it was some personal. It was a lot of personal issues that caused me to separate, and there were some things that I just didn't agree with anymore. That I had been struggling with for a little while. Saying that I spoke up on some things or whatever. Not to go into the particulars about it. It just the scriptures tell you in Amos. Watch this, and we teach this all the time. Give me that in Amos 3:3. We teach this all the time, and when sometimes it's time to actually act it out. You know what I'm saying? Read that.
Amos chapter 3, verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
Now, that's a rhetorical question, and we know the answer is no. So when you get to a point where you don't agree on enough things, you separate. Because if you don't separate, it's confusion. What happens is you cause confusion. You are strife internally. You may confuse somebody else by speaking on the things that you don't agree with. So to keep the peace, the best thing for you to do would just be go the other way. Now, I've got a lot of blowback on not, myself, and I'll let Marshall speak for himself. We got a lot of blowback on whether or not I should have left and this, that, and the third. But sometimes you just gotta separate yourself. Sometimes you gotta separate yourself for the better, to save the spirit, that you don't keep yourself in a bad situation or uncomfortable situation, and you don't create an uncomfortable situation for others. So, like I told you in the interview, Michael, I'm not here to say that anybody in IUIC is this or anybody in IUIC is that, or I'm the most right person in the world, because that's not the case. Just sometimes it's time to move on. And the scriptures tell us that Israel outnumbers the sands of the sea, the stars of heaven. So for us to think that the only way to our salvation is to stay in the box that we in, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. And it didn't make sense to me. So after about 5 months of really sitting back, because I got suspended, because I spoke against some stuff, and I got suspended, and the reason that was put forth, and it was broadcast on Facebook Live, never before has it been done like that, but it was broadcast on Facebook Live, Periscope, and whatever other group chat meeting that we used at the time. It was broadcast live for everybody to see, and it was that I was sowing discord, speaking evil or disrespectful to the bishop, one of the bishops, or whatever. And I didn't see it the same way, but, I fell back and took the low because, it wasn't the time. It's not always time to fight for yourself. And me, I'm a fighter. Anybody that knows me knows that but something told me just fall back and just don't, it won't profit nothing to start pleading my cause, because I understood that at that time it wasn't that type of party. So I took about 5 months where I was supposed to be reflecting and whatnot, and there were certain stipulations to return. And in those 5 months, I studied a lot. Me and Marshall, I'm talking about diving in the Word, I contemplated, I thought about, whether or not I wanted to just deal with the things that I saw that was wrong, and, could I make a change? And I came up at the end of it with, I can't make no change. That is an organization that's already established. The men that established it, it's their thing. And who am I to come in and try to change their thing and try to rebuild on the foundation that these men, and I say these men, these brothers, because I still love the brothers. Regardless of what they've been saying about me, I love them. But who am I to come in and try to restructure anything according to what I thought, And I'm not talking about restructuring the whole thing, so don't get me wrong, but there's certain things that I saw that I didn't think was going to change. And I spoke on them, and, stuff don't change. So